this idea of like we're shipping grandma off when she's inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like
Saints are supposed to take care of one another. The Bible said if you're going to do anything for anybody, do it within the household of the faith.
Despite what the entertainment world's doing, despite what the education system's doing, despite what politics are doing, it is up to us to make our families healthy, to make our communities healthy. We need to start putting language to the things stopping us from walking out the fullness of the call of God in our life. Because, I mean, we see some of the things happening in the world, and it's not just because some leader didn't pass the right laws, some politician didn't, make the right bills or whatever. Like, the reason is when the church gets quiet and the church forgets who they are, communities transform for the worse, right?
Yes.
And when Christians are serving their communities, like you said, like seeing their ambition as something that serves the people around them, serves their families, communities get healthy, despite what the entertainment world's doing, despite what the education system's doing, despite what politics are doing. It is up to us to make our families healthy, to make our communities healthy. And to me, it's like every chance we get, we should be grasping a hold of the things that are helping us do that. And again, to put language to it, because even just you saying the thing of to serve, it sounds so simple. I've heard other people say similar things in different ways. Sometimes it's that one sentence, the way somebody words that one thing that clicks in your brain, and it will change you forever. Right?
Yeah, and let me just add some context to that. By serve, I think, yes, there are certain things we should be doing to say, hey, I'm going to position myself and do whatever the most remedial task is, because it's actually good for my ego and healthy.
Yeah.
But I don't mean serve in the sense of like, pastor should be out there mowing the lawn every week.
Right, yeah.
Acts 6 has them delegating the responsibility. Ephesians says that the ministers in the church, the pastors, preachers, evangelists, so on and so forth, are there to equip the saints for the work of the ministry. Right? So you're not supposed to be doing everything. Matter of fact, if you're doing everything, that's a problem.
I
right?
agree.
Like we need other people doing
failing
it.
as a leader.
Yeah, you got to equip the other people to do the work of the ministry. So I want to make that caveat.
No, that's great.
For ambition is that yes, serving, but sometimes serving looks like you up and encouraging. That might look like you equipping other people
100%
because now they have ownership in the thing, right? And I think that is that could be paradoxical.
Right.
There's some tension there.
So serving not for you, because even as a pastor, you're serving, but like you're saying there are roles that he has to do well, right?
Yes.
And the same with me when I'm up on stage performing.
Yes.
I'm serving these people, but if I'm worrying about this, the music cues and the lighting and all the things, I can't focus on doing what God has gifted me with correctly. And so I think really it's the perspective shift of like when I am on stage, it is to give those people something. Right. It is not so that they can define my worth. I like that you really said that, because I think that's super important is we need to use the gifts that God's given us, understand how to use those things to serve.
Right.
And then
and then the only other thing I would add is that I think there's also, I'm gonna use a fancy word that I hear Jordan Peterson use all the time. There's also a hierarchy of values, right? So like you serve your family and your wife before you serve the homeless dude that's been off of heroin for 11 days.
Yeah.
Like that, there's a hierarchy that we have.
Agreed.
And in 1 Timothy 5, Paul is writing and he's talking about the widows in the church who are young enough to get, and widows in that context were very destitute. The lowest, most vulnerable person you could be a widow, right? Is to be a widow. So Paul says, hey, the widows that are young, they need to go ahead and get remarried because they're going to be busybodies and run around here gossiping and just making stuff. Right? So he's like, they need to go ahead and get remarried. Then he says, hey, the widows who have no one to take care of them, that's who the church has to take care of. But then he acts like a prerequisite. He goes, as long as they've been faithful to the Lord's people and they've been washing the apostles' feet. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. This is like the benevolence fund from the church actually came with prerequisites.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
That's crazy to think
I have
about.
These conversations with these people. People don't see the backdoor convos or whatever, right? I can't tell you how many people, and we give. Oh, Lord have mercy. We give. But some folks come out of the woodwork and they're like, hey, yo, what's up? And every time they look at me crazy, and every time I'm like, okay, cool. How do we get us plugged in? Now, and when I'm talking about plugged in, and Dustin knows, I'm not the guy that does like, yo, come to the church, do this within the church. I'm like, what are we doing to get our butts out into the city? How are we faithfully serving the Lord in that? And whenever it's goose egg, it's normally a goose egg, right? I'm like, yo, let's grind this stuff together, right? Because then it's just enabling. It's toxic charity.
That's it. And then the third thing then he goes on to say, now the widows who are not young enough to get remarried, and the widows who the church is taking care of. Those widows who have family, he says, whoever does not provide for the needs of their family, specifically their immediate family, is worse than a non-believer and is denied the faith.
Come on.
Right? Wow. And so there's the hierarchy.
The Bible's so savage sometimes.
Right? Well, there's the hierarchy, though. So what that practically means is like this idea of like we're shipping grandma off when she's inconvenient.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like everywhere else throughout all the space and time, people have always done life multi-generationally.
Yeah.
And here we're so hyper individualistic that like, hey, no, like you think like, oh, just man, we're lucky if we just have everyone in the same household.
Yeah.
Right? No. That multi-generationally taking care of the widows, taking care of the elderly, taking care of folks within our immediate family, whether that's a single mom who's a widow, or whether that's an actual widow who's older. But therein lies the framework of like whoever does not provide for the needs of his family, specifically his immediate family. So it's actually not the church's job to just be a charity foundation, to care for everybody. Church's job is actually to equip people to do the ministry and preach the gospel, for the pastor to devote themselves to prayer and of the ministry of the word. It's on the rest of the people to do the ministering, and then it's on the Christians to take care of their own. I'm supposed to take care of my own. Now, we say all of that in light of a crazy disruptive economy, AI coming on the scene, wealth inequality, the cost of living. Just to get to baseline is going to require some ambition. Just to get to a place of like, let me take care of my family and my extended family. Just to get there is like, you can't be average. The bell curve, average, that was very fruitful in the 80s and 90s. Today, if you're average, you broke. You're struggling. It's not good. So you got to be an outlier. And I go, okay, well, we have the Spirit of the living God.
We have the mind of Christ.
That's right.
We were created to create and cultivate, right? With him.
That's right.
The moments that we start abandoning our ambition, we're not walking in our true calling. Every single living person has godly ambition to create and cultivate. What the enemy wants to do is for us to go outside of our image and to be dull and to be passive, Adam, all right? To be passive and just to sit, and for us to constantly struggle. Saints are supposed to take care of one another. The Bible said if you're going to do anything for anybody, do it within the household of the faith. If the enemy could clip your wings and get you to a place that you can even barely provide for yourself in any capacity, he's won.
That's right.
He's won.
And
unfortunately, we see a lot of that.
And the beautiful part about it is it doesn't have to be this like, hey man, like I'm gonna go to college and like consume myself. Like it doesn't got to be this crazy fork in the road moment. It's usually those little decisions, those non-negotiables. If you could structure your day and non-negotiables, in the book I say that incremental investments lead to monumental advancements. So it's those little things, those little things of like, you come in and you're like, hey, how you doing with the nutrition? And I'm like, well, I just had some, I said,
gummy worms.
I just had some gummy worms. You're like, I thought you were eating healthy. And it's like, well, I'm logging it. But that logging it, that macro habit is keeping me from getting more wider as I'm getting more older. So then you get 500 days of logging your food. And all of a sudden, you're more conscious of what you're eating, right? You go to the gym, 3 days a week for a year, you're going to look like a different person. You save every month. You save, you give, you tithe, you do it. Like, these things compound over time.